Oh my, what a week. If I'd feasted any longer, I doubt I'd have been able to fly home at all. Maybe I don't give those kobolds enough credit. I mean, they do barbecue a mean elephant. You should have seen the look on their faces when I demanded seconds, and thirds, and maybe a little bit of fourths. I only wish there could have been some better conversation during my gorging. All anyone wanted to talk about was, oh, it was my father's castle, and oh, not one drink more of water out of my river, and blah, blah, blah. I had to remind everyone that when I was finished with the roast beefs, I would decide which tribe was breaking the peace of my lands, and I would be staying to monitor them. They would be responsible for feeding me for however long I required, lest I start feeding myself on them and theirs. That always smooths things over. Glad to be home, but not once has anyone volunteered to keep me even for breakfast. And after such a long and cold flight, too. Don't be surprised if I sun myself all day tomorrow. I haven't been properly warm in a week. I had to overnight in the snow caps twice. Used to be I could clear the mountain range in a day. If I get any fatter, I'll have to crawl next time. And yes, I've thought about it, and it's fine. I'm fat. No point in calling it big bones if it's the gorging that caused my bones to grow so big. And still growing at my age. I'm supposed to be retired. But big territory needs a big dragon. So what choice do I have but to keep eating? Besides, it's bound to even out eventually. Or I'll take a 1,000-year nap and folks will mistake me for a hillside. You can tell them to keep off the grass, pet. Oh, pet. My sweet little knight. Where are you, little one? Maybe the move to a bigger cave was premature. I swear I put your house around here somewhere. Not on the Horde. Although, sounds like some of it is missing. Not burglars. Burglars take more than 3 silver pennies. Usually. Did you go shopping? I smell you, thank the sun. If I'd have been talking to myself this whole time, I'd bite my tail. Now, how many times have I told you not to leave the cave when I'm away? What if one of those ruffians laid their hands on you? Pet? Pet? Oh, dear. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. I'm here. I've got you. Oh. Alive. Thank Layden. You poor, poor thing. You're stricken. You look exhausted. And you've sweat right through your pajamas. Now hold very still. Let me towel you off. Always the faintest look of surprise that I don't break you in half. Honestly, who do you think put together half your furniture and your house? Now I'll admit giving you water is beyond me. Try and sit up in my claw, sweetie, and I'll bring you the jug. There now, some nice, cool water. You're lucky you're not dragonling, my precious. When I was your age, when I was your size, and I was feeling dyspeptic, my father would literally throw me into the river. And that was glacier water, snow melt. It was so cold. It wasn't as cruel as it seemed. More often than not, it was a dysregulation of my fire bladder, and occult shock is the treatment preferred by learned and erudite dragons. But I would be shivering like a little leaf. You should have seen me then. I was all wings and tail back then. You could have bent me in half and tied me in a knot. But my mother, she was a soft touch. Very proper, very clean, very royal in her manners. She would go prowling the riverbanks for me a few hours after Father chucked me out, usually with some excuse like, well, she was going to chase off some knights or she was out hunting for dinner. But she'd stop and scoop me up, just like this. And when we got back to the cave, she'd lay down on her back. And she'd put me right here, right in the hollow of her collarbone. I used to fit there like a snail in its shell. I will regulate your temperature. You can go back to sleep now that I know you're here. You're safe. I know I shouldn't worry so much, but I do. So there. No, I guess I don't talk about my parents much. I haven't been a hatchling in a long, long time. I don't think about it much either. Dragons lay hundreds of eggs, but only 1 or 2 will hatch every century. Most of the eggs just slowly turn into solid gold. That's where all the gold in the world comes from, mind you. But I was lucky enough to grow up with nestmates, 2 older. I was the baby, and I was the favorite. But Polly Merlin flew off and invented a new branch of alchemy, and Herrick found that damnable flying island of hers. So it wasn't enough to be the baby anymore. I knew it was over one day when I woke up with a nervous cough. Father took one look at me and told me to throw myself in the river. I was old enough to manage it myself. That's how he said it. So I did. And I waited on the banks for Mother to come. I waited days. I saw her flying overhead and I called out to her. I asked her, "Why don't you pick me up and carry me home? I want to sleep in the hollow beneath your throat." She said, "You don't fit there anymore." And I realized I really didn't fit in the cave either. It was only a matter of time before a matchmaker was involved and I tried to find someplace else I could fit. I never did. It seemed to me like everyone else had their own desolation, or a library, or a flying island, and I had my children. And when they were ill, I'd lay down in a much smaller treasure pile back then, and I'd put them right where you're at. But they only fit there a little while, before it was their turn to leave me, all alone with terrible old Thucydides with his grievances. He always looked at me like he wondered how much longer I'd be taking up a corner of his cave. Thinking of him makes me hungry. Shall I make you some soup, little one? I'll just set you back in bed and I'll... Really? You want to stay like this a little longer? All night if you want. Sure. Nothing would make me happier. It occurs to me that you're never going to literally outgrow this spot. At this rate, you're more likely to sink further in as the seasons turn. But I have to wonder at what I have judged unwise to ask, but are you here for a little while? Or are you mine to keep?